Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report, again talking to head women's basketball coach John Haskins. Coach, the team has done a very good job so far this year of distributing the basketball and really spreading out the scoring. This is a very nice luxury, I would argue, to have when that so many players are capable of putting the ball through the net. Talk a little bit about your scoring distribution.
And I think there's plus and minuses to that. The good thing is opposing teams can't key on one player, and we have been able to distribute scoring. I think with Jasmine, with Courtney, now Kiara scored some, Wayne scored some, and Shandrika scored some. So we've got 5 kids that scored, and it's not like we've got some other kids that, and Amelia shooting the basketball, and then it's not like Taylor can't score. It's not like Camille Warren can't score. So we've got a number of kids I think that can put the ball in the basket and can score. So that's a good thing. On the flip side of that, when it comes down to the last second or when you really need a shot, who do we go to? And we've got some ideas of who we go to. But I think it is good that teams can't just focus on one or maybe 2 players to try to shut them down and to really limit our offensive opportunity.
Like when you had Toya Kemp a few years ago, she was kind of that go-to
person.
Yeah,
she was the go-to person, and we knew that if we needed a basket, we were going to try to play through her.
Well, one of the things that lots of coaches talk about in basketball is the assist-to-turnover ratio, and I know this is something that you have struggled with on the women's team. You like to have a ratio that's higher than 1, preferably. UNCP is at 0.8 right now. How do you improve that assist-to-turnover ratio?
I think that's an issue in women's basketball at every level. I watch games on TV and I say, boy, they're doing some of the same stuff we do in terms of turning the basketball over with. As I look back on last year and our success last year in the conference play and going 12-6 in the league, there were 2 stats that stood out. One was I think we held opponents to about 55, 56 points a game. But the other was that we only averaged 15.5 turnovers. And in the women's game, that is very good. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're staying around 15, that is very good. I think that right now we're about 18.2 or 18.3. Now, on the flip side of that, we played 3 teams in terms of Wingate, Fayetteville State, and Queens that did a lot of pressing early in the season, and that's something we get better at during the year. So I think we've definitely got work to do on that, and I think it comes from our players being better fundamentally, being stronger with the basketball. It comes from our coaches in terms of doing situations in practice that are going to create more pressure. I know we're going to talk about our defense in a second. We play a very conservative defense. We don't get out in the passing lanes. We don't double the ball a lot. So that's something that as coaches we need to expose our players to more and more in practice so they feel more comfortable playing against that kind of defense.
Well, let's follow up on that line. Team defense has been a big positive for the team this year. You're holding opponents to 32% shooting from the floor, 26% behind the three-point arc. What's your team doing on defense that is causing so much trouble for opposing teams?
Nothing different. We've always felt like we've been a good defensive team, and we tell our girls at the start of every year, we hang our hat on defense. And again, as I look back last year, we didn't allow many points per game, and I think there's 2 benchmarks. One is field goal percentage defense. Well, 3 really. Field goal percentage defense, which we've been pretty good at. Points per game, which we've been pretty good at. And the third area is how many free throws you allow your opponents to shoot. We have not been very good at that. And that's one area I think, or the 2 areas defensively, is we've got to get better playing defense without fouling. This team has probably fouled way too much. We've had teams that would go through a whole half and the other team wouldn't get the bonus. And we're putting people on the free throw line too much. And then the second thing is finishing possessions by defensive rebounding. We're giving up too many offensive rebounds. I think Dunmore for Wingate, who's a very good player, a very active player, had 10 offensive rebounds against us on Saturday. And so we've got to do a better job in terms of rebounding the basketball and not fouling.
Well, up next for you, Coach, is the December 12th road tilt against an 0-5 Chowan team. What do you know about the Lady Indians, and what's the key to win?
I know their best player's been hurt, and I think that's why they've struggled. They struggle to score a little bit, and I think that's one of the reasons why is that I believe it's Lynch is their best player. She's been hurt, I think a hamstring. Whether she'll play against us or not, we don't know. It's another week or so before we play them. But they're a tough team to play against. They're a very good defensive team. They drive the basketball. They attack the basket. Just has been a tough matchup for us, and even when we've been successful in games, the margin has not been very big. And they won a close game against us here last year where we really struggled to score. So it'll be a very competitive game, particularly up there.
All right, Coach. Well, we look forward to bringing home a victory from Chowan and then jumping into the Peach Belt schedule. We'd love to see you match what you did last year, if not do better. When we come back, we're gonna spend a day in the life with Andrea Colin from the women's soccer team, so stay tuned.